Morning everyone, it is our usual Sunday morning. I apologise for this slight shadow across my face this morning. I'm not sure why that's happening. As we are heading towards the end of April in the UK, and I think it's elsewhere in the world, we have Father's Day in June. So inspired by the wonderful Ludivine Bertois, who is a French Stampin' Up demonstrator, I created a spinning, I'll just get that working, a spinning otter. I don't know whether you can see, goes round the card very, very nicely in the cutout of the whole. It's just a little bit of interactivity. Now, Ludivine did it with our Darling Dino set, and I'm using our Utterly Amazing, which was part of our November online exclusives. Now, currently these are on last chance, so they will be retiring soon. Once all the stock is gone, there will be no more of these Utterly Amazings. I have actually been and bought more paper because it's been one of my favourite sets to work with over the last 6 months. I've really enjoyed. I just love all the colours. I love the playfulness when it comes to this. Yesterday, I also then decided to have a play with doing something different. So I needed to make a birthday card for a colleague at work, and I decided, what's more spring-like than butterflies and flowers? It's not really picking up very well. I don't know whether you can actually see the shimmery on the butterflies, but I've actually also got this butterfly in the corner to flick. I've got this little tool underneath, which is plastic, which you can get these on Amazon. If I can remember, I'll put the link below. But yeah, this is another one that I made using the same principles, and I absolutely, I think I'll be making more of these cards. Yeah, simple sentiment in the middle. But yeah, that's it for that one. I'll show you the inside of this one. We're not going to do the inside today, just for quickness, but this is what I did on the inside. I just fussy cutted another couple of otters, a young one and with their father. Happy Father's Day, love you lots. And then I used some of the stamps from the Utterly Amazing set as well to stamp the fish and the bubbles. Yeah, so with the way I'm doing today is going to be slightly different than this. I've got the same bottom part, but cut slightly differently. But I'm using a different colour palette, very slightly. I'm using Balmy Blue instead of Lost Lagoon. So let's have a play and see how we get on. Okay, so I'm just going to move all my things out the way and we can get started. Now, I have cheated a little bit. Today I have pre-cut all the bits that I need, but I'm going to quickly show you all the measurements that you're going to need. So if I show you here, if you want to take a quick screenshot of the measurements, the only thing extra you would need 2 more of the smaller circles, which I've already cut out for sentiments, for one in the middle and one at the side. But yeah, so these are the measurements. Okay, and quickly also before we start, I'm going to show you this absolutely amazing paper. So in each pack you get 2 of each one, and the colours on this one are Balmy Blue, Basic Grey, Calypso Coral. There's lots. There's Garden Green, there's Grey Granite, there's Lemon Lime Twist, as I say, Lost Lagoon, Pecan Pie, even Pretty Peacock. I love the Pretty Peacock in this one. Pool Party, lots, but just look at how playful these otters are. They're just wonderful. I absolutely do adore them. That's the back to that. I have actually use this as a background as well and put otters around it. This is what I've used for the cards. I've actually used this bit in the middle and cut out. And that's the back side of that one. More fish. This is a great one for doing a scrapbook page. You could do a whole scrapbook page and there's lots of space for you to be able to add smaller pictures. You could add one here. You could add some up here, add some here, put your wording up here and up here. I think that might be my next one to do with the Utterly Amazing. I have some really, if you don't already know, I'm absolutely mad on otters, and that's the back side of that one. So yeah, I think I'll be using that to actually mount some of my favourite otter pictures. Again, we've got some swimming otters, lovely one here which you could use for Mother's Day, you know, hugging the baby otter. You know, this could be, it's so utilised, and I love this. This is what we're going to use as the main DSP on our card today. I love that one. Again, more ones, and we've got family portraits here. We've got otters on their own. Yeah, I just love this. I've actually used this one for the middle bit of the card today. So when we get to that, I'll show you. And that's the grey granite, which is very, very nice actually. I've not used this side of the paper, but maybe for doing some wording, or, you know, if you've got stamps, oh sorry, dies that will cut out alphabets, you could use it for that. I always struggle with paper but like that. This is my absolute favourite. I just love the colours on this one. And I have actually fussy cut a lot of this out before to use, but this is the Lost Lagoon side of the paper again. It's a beautiful one for water. Sorry if my voice is going a little bit this morning. I do have a little bit of a croak. I also have hay fever, so I do apologise for the sniffing. I do suffer from a lot of allergies, unfortunately. So let's get going. What have we got? I've got my basic 6x6 card blank. I have Pecan Pie to mat onto. So this is our 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, and then our main ones, which is the Designer series paper and the matte and layer card underneath. And this is in boho blue. Just double check that. No, balmy blue. Sorry, balmy blue. Yeah, so this is what we're going to do is we're going to stick these two pieces together and then cut out our circles. Okay, so that's that. I've got my die cutting machine behind me and we're going to cut out those circles, but that's essentially your layer. So I'm going to move everything else to one side for the moment, and I'm just going to glue. I always think it's a shame that when you're just using one side of the paper though. I don't know what anybody else is like, but I'm terrible for hoarding scrapbooking DSP paper from Stampin' Up. You can get a pack of paper and sometimes you think, oh, not sure how I'm going to use that. But often, you know, you can find some brilliant inspiration on Pinterest, on YouTube. If on Google you just, or whichever platform you're using, you can just Google the paper and you will be amazed at what comes up. People use it in so many different ways. So just be careful. Sorry if I get my head in shot, I'm really sorry, but I'm trying to line this up as best as possible. The good thing is, I've said before, with our wonderful Tombow glue, Tombow mono liquid green glue. This is amazing because it gives you that little bit of time to move things around and to ensure it's in the right place. It doesn't stick immediately. It has you do get that little bit of wiggle room. Now, don't do what I'm doing, which is I have dirty hands and I should have really cleaned them before I start this. But you need to ensure that this is stuck everywhere, because you're actually going to cut into this to create the circle of your card. Okay. Right, okay, so what we're going to do quickly is we're going to just let that dry a little bit, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to be using this morning. So this is our bit that we're going to be using. I apologise also for when I take things away, that you do get the ring light above. So I'm going to be using this, and I'm going to end up just having it slightly lower, because if you look at the layering, if we put that on there, you've got a nice little border, and because you've got the browns picking up, you can have it going past and onto the white if you wanted to. So when we get that all centered and all done, I will then trim off the excess is what I will do. So it's probably better if it's up there, isn't it? Right, okay, so you can see also there's a difference with this one. With this one, I didn't leave a white border. With this one, I'm leaving a white border. I'm just going to see which one I prefer at the end. I just wanted to do something different to see whether it would actually work. Okay, whilst also this is still drying, I'm going to use our circles that I've cut out already, and I am going to use our Calypso Coral, and I'm going to use our Balmy Blue just to pick up. Sorry, I realise that I haven't actually got the, oh I do. It's not the right one, it's azure, but it's a blue. And I'm just going to grab some paper, shove it underneath. So one I'm going to use the Calypso Coral, and one I'm going to use the Balmy Blue. Okay, so we're going to start with the Balmy Blue one first. Now, when you're doing this, trick is light. It's really light strokes. Don't press. Don't, you know, unless you really want a dark patch. I tend to build up. It's best to build up, and what I tend to do also is come in from the side, and it's really light. Imagine you're just doing a light feather dusting. That was how I describe how I do it, and I'm just gonna pick up the edges a little bit more. I think I'm possibly enjoying the Balmy Blue slightly, a little bit more than the Lost Lagoon already, and you can see I have got marks on my paper, but we'll hopefully be able to cover those up when we stamp our sentiments. So that's the Balmy Blue one. Okay, actually I might just add a little bit more around the edges just to pick up, What you can do is you can just flick on the edges, and that just gives it that slighter, darker edge to it. Yeah, prefer that, that's good. I'm just going to put that to one side. Okay, now we're going to swap, and we're going to do our Calypso Coral. Okay, this one's obviously a lot darker, so I'm just going to be really light. Do that really light, feather light touch before I come in. And again, I will make the edges probably slightly darker, but I will also stamp them, just giving that extra time for our layers to stick together. It's not the best one I've done, never mind. Let's just go around that edge, pick that edge up a little bit more. And don't be afraid, you know, this is the type of thing that I always say, if you make a mistake, often run with it, because sometimes the best mistakes, the best cards turn out to be from your mistakes. I have often found that. Okay, let's move that again to one side, and now just move those. And then we're going to bring in, I don't know why I moved my things out of the way. Going to bring in our stamps. Okay, so I'm going to be using Utterly Amazing, but I'm also going to be using our stamp sets, which are our current March online exclusives. She's the Greatest and He's the Greatest. Now together these make a fantastic set. This one's got Happy Day, You're the Best, Coolest, loads of different ways to describe people. You know, you've got cat, you've got pet, you've got dog, plant, which you can all then line up with all the male ones at this side. So I'm going to be using, excuse me, I'm going to be using the Father's Day stamp from here. And then from this set, I'm going to use Happy and Day, if I can find where I put it, which is there. Okay. Great. So I'm going to bring these back in. And I'm going to use my stamp block. Now, also going to bring back my paper, because I always like to just stamp on the paper before stamping on the main card, because you just don't know. Sometimes it can be a little bit, you're not using the right pressure. One of the things I really like about the glass mat is that it does give you the right pressure to do this. Okay, so I'm just going to stamp it up. Just a quick tap, press it down and lift it up. Quick tap, press it down, lift it up. You're utterly amazing. I love this stamp. And what about, if you've watched a few of my previous videos, I am terrible for cleaning my stamps. Really terrible for cleaning my stamps. So I have now got into the habit of having my little chamois in its case at the side whenever I'm stamping now. And it does give me that little bit of push to remember to clean them. Right, okay. Might need this a little bit later, but I'm just going to push it to one side. So next we're going to use the balmy blue. And the first one we're going to do is going to do fathers. We're going to stamp fathers in the middle. Again, just quick tap. Happy with that? Okay. So we just turn that there. And then I'm going to put the fathers in the middle. So I'm sorry if my head gets in the way. I'm just going to make sure that is correct. Yep, happy with that. Again, quick wipe, put it to one side. Okay, and then I'm going to use the happy. Quick tap, stamp it off, happy with that. Okay, and then I'm just going to line it up so it's just as much as possible in the middle, like that. Yeah, okay, quick clean, and then swap it out for the day. Couple taps, again, maybe better, yeah, okay. And then I'm going to find the nice spot to put that under. So I'm going to go there. Happy Father's Day. It's not brilliantly scented, but I actually prefer the look. Okay, so there are two things done. What we should be able to do now is cut out our circles of our middle. Okay, let's just move everything else out of the way. So, pick up my Stampin' Up die cutting machine. This one is, I've had this now for a year and it's still working brilliantly. What I should have got out though is my new cutting plates, and I haven't done that, so we're going to have to go with it, unfortunately. Instead of using the front, because I'm going to be, oh, you know what, I have not got the tape to stick this to, but I do have some spares, so just give me 1 second. There we go. So I now have the tape that I need. So I'm going to tape down my dies that I'm using. So I'm using 2 circular dies, and these circle dies were from, you look at it from edge to edge. First one is 2 3/4 and the second one is 2 1/2. And now the trick is to try and get them as much as possible in the middle. And then when you're layering them, do the same thing so you've got that nice gap in the middle. Right, okay, so does that look right? Maybe slightly up. Okay. I've not managed yet. I'm just taking a little bit of the sticky off. I've not managed yet to actually get them in the right place. Now I've got my hair all over it. I've always been slightly off, but cards have still worked, so it's not annoying me that much. Okay. I'm going to stick it down that side. So, ready to cut. So you need the base plate, you need the plate number 2, and then you need your top and bottom plates. I tend to, which you'll see here, if you can, you can't really see, but I mark it top, so I know which one I mark top, and when I change them over, that top one then becomes the bottom and I get a new top plate. Okay. I'm just going to run that back through because I just want to make sure that it's gone all the way through, because it's going through 2 pieces, well, 1 piece of card and 1 piece of DSP. Okay. So let's just take that, and then I'm just going to move this out of the way. I don't know what everybody else's craft room looks like. Mine currently looks like a bomb has hit it. I am not, oh look, you see, I didn't get that right. I've got to, it's more on this side, but never mind. Yeah, I have a really, I have to say, my husband is one of the most wonderful individuals when it comes to, see why I did it on the back rather than the front, just in case it lifts. My husband is one of the most wonderful, patient individuals that you will come across, because he puts up with my messes, and it's not just in my craft room, because I like to, you know, in an evening I like to be in the same space as family members. I tend to do a lot of crafting in the evening in the living room. So the living room is also, I've been saving these circles from the middle, but I don't know yet what I'm going to use them for, but well, I'm sure I'll come up with something. So that is what you're going to end up with. That is your centre bit. Okay, now we can move these out of the way and we can actually start making our card. Right, so let's get all the bits back in. Just trying to remember where I put my base, and I've now lost the base card. Quite funny how you manage to do these things, isn't it, when you there we go. Okay, got my base card. So what I'm going to do first on the back of my base is I'm going to put my Panda Pop Stampin' Up logo, which is what I always put on the back of my cards. Quick tap, quick tap, quick tap. Again, trying to centre it. I never managed this either. Okay, and I've now just put it on upside down. Yay! Yay! Okay. Yeah. Not the best, but I can cover that up. I can do another layer and I can cover it up. It's not a problem. I'm not worrying about that whatsoever. Right, so I'm going to start matting and layering. Okay, so I'm just going to put lots of glue on this. So this is our pecan pie, and it picks up a little bit of that brown that's in the picture that we're going to be using, and also from the otter that's going to be spinning round. So a little bit all over. Again, using that green glue because it gives me that little bit of wriggle room if I do not get it right. So, lesson learnt this morning, ensure your card is the right way up before you stamp the back of it. I would love to say that's the first time I've done it, but it isn't. I do it quite regularly. Yeah, and you would think I would learn. No, I have not learned in the slightest. Right, okay. So this next bit is, we're going to add some of our embellishments before we start building it. So I'm going to put this down here. I'm just going to make sure that this, if I've actually got some a little bit of really what I'm thinking of, really fine grade sandpaper, which if I was going to spend a little bit more time, I would actually use it. And I'm just going to see how that looks on the card. So we can actually, I might end up having to trim it slightly. Yeah, I think I'll have to end up and trim this bit off the bottom, but I'm enjoying what I see here. So I'm just going to adhese, before I put this on there, I was going to say I'm just going to add it, but no, I'm not. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of the pre-cut leaves that I've cut out. And these were cut out using the dies from the Utterly Amazing set bundle that you get together. Okay, and then I'm also going to maybe add our fichinelle bubbles and things as well. Let's just see how we get on. So, yeah, with this, what I have done in the past, if I've actually used our adhesive sheets, so when I've cut it out, I've stuck the card to our adhesive sheets beforehand. And then it's been easier just to peel off and then stick on the card. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to be able to bend my leaves slightly, and I found if I've got the adhesive sheet on the back, it doesn't work as well. Okay, so don't need it on every leaf, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ensure that that just goes off slightly, and you can see I'm just bending it round. And I'm going to do the same. Now, if you can see, this goes the same way, so we're going to do it slightly different. We're going to bend it the other way. Again, it doesn't need glue everywhere. And I apologise, I'm sometimes very heavy on the glue, and I need to stop, because you literally just need a hint. And there's been lots of times I've actually wiped the glue off, which is what I'm going to do here. Wipe some of the glue off. And then I'm going to have to make sure it doesn't get stuck to anything else. Okay, lift it up. Try and get it in a similar position as the other one. Have it going off slightly. Bend it in. Okay. Happy with that. And then I'm not actually going to use that. I think I used 2 on the last one. I think I'm just going to actually add this one. I like changing it up. So, you know, whilst I'm doing this, we have the new annual catalogue coming out on the 6th of May. If you wanted to have a copy of that annual catalogue and you live in the UK, please get in contact with me. You can either contact me at helen@pandrapops.com, or you could just leave me a message underneath this video, and I will get a catalogue sent out to you. If you're very digital like me, everything will be on the website as well from the 6th, and I'll put my link to my online shop if you'd like to shop with me. You don't have to. You can shop with another Stampin' Up demonstrator who is local to you, or you know, you don't have to shop with any of us. But part of the way that we're able to do these videos is that if people shop with us, we do get a discount on some of the products, and we're able to showcase things more. So we would appreciate it if you would shop with us using our links. That is the only reason we put those links there. It's just to enable us to then show you these videos and, you know, put things out on our websites just to create and give you ideas. So yeah, you know, we do appreciate people who shop with us. If you shop with me, you do get I didn't do that very well, did I? But it's okay. Maybe I should add another one at that corner. If you shop with me, you do get a small gift. That could be paper, it could be a retired stamp set, depending on how much you shop. Also, Stampin' Up have just released a new reward system. So if you sign up to the Stampin' Up website, create an account, you get, as long as if you're in the UK, you spend over £20, I think it is, if I remember rightly, you get to choose, you get 10% rewards on the value of what you have spent to spend the next time you visit at the website, or if you wanted to buy something different. Yeah, so that's how that works. I'm now going to have to add the other side because I like a bit of symmetry. So yeah, so it works well. So you get 10% to spend on your next shop. But what's also very good is that, say you spent £40, that means you get £4 to spend on your next Stampin' Up. Or you can save your rewards. I think you can save them up to for 3 months, I think it is, to spend at a later date. So you can save your rewards as well. But what happens is, so if you use your rewards against an order, so you then place an order for £60. So if you use your £4 rewards, that would take it down to 56. But you actually get the new rewards on the whole amount, so that would be the £60. So I think that's really good. And it is a good perk. I think it's because they've taken away what they used to, Stampin' Up used to do hostess codes. So if you wanted to do a, hold a party in your house, you could do, and you would get, depending on what people ordered on the night, you would get hostess rewards. Now a lot of Stampin' Up demonstrators, especially in the US, still had been offering these hostess rewards. It's not something that I actually offered. I've only been doing this for around about a year. So the hostess rewards, they've now gone. Yeah. Just to also a quick heads up, if you live in the Cheshire area, I am starting card classes in person in this room. Yeah, in my craft room, come dining room. And I will say to you that I will make sure it's tidy. It won't be tidy at the end of the night because we're just not that type of people. When we craft, often we make messes. So yeah, I'm just trimming that side a bit off so I know what I'm working with. Right, okay, happy with that. Yeah, so I am going to start doing those. The first one is looking, if I just double check my dates, just give me a second. So the first one is going to be held on Wednesday the 21st of May. And that will be, I'm going to do two. One will be from 1 o'clock till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And the other one will be running from 7 till 9 in the evening. Within that, you should be able to make, we say, around about 3 to 4 cards in that 2 hours, or 1, possibly 2 scrapbook pages. Yeah. The aim is to just let people choose what they want to do in the first couple of sessions, and then we'll build up an idea about going forward, what type of things people like. Do they want to make cards? Do they want to do scrapbooking? Would they like to do some home decor stuff? Yeah, so, it depends on what people like. If you're interested, again, let me know. Yeah, at helen@pandapops.com. And I'll get in contact with you, give you all the details. There will be a slight charge, but it's not going to be massive. It's just going to be enough to pay for the materials that we use. Because I believe, crafting, excuse me, crafting shouldn't cost the earth. So I'd like to believe that we can do and add, as long as I cover my costs, I'm happy. And it will include coffee and tea and homemade biscuits, brownies, that sort of thing, because it gives me the excuse to bake as well. Okay, right, I think we're slowly getting there. Now for the main event, I'm just going to reach across, and I did have them out over here. So what we need for our spinny things are either 5 pences or 1 penny pieces. Okay, or if you're in a different country, obviously you can use the smallest denomination, which is, maybe the thinnest, to make these cards. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use our mini stamping dimensionals to connect our 2 pennies together. I've used pennies up to now and they've seemed to work well, so I'm quite happy with that. So I'm just going to use one of our little ones, and I'm just going to put it in the middle, and then I'm going to attach the other penny to the top. Okay, so we have our little mechanism. I don't know whether you can really see, but it does have a slight gap in the middle for it to spin. So if I was to put it on here, I'm hopeful that it will spin, which it does. Yeah. Okay, so we have that. We're now going to attach our little otter to it, our little playful otter. And he just fits beautifully on there. Now I'm not going to use a dimensional to stick him on because I think that would just make the card too big. I am going to use some glue dots if I can find them and it doesn't look as if I can't. Just check my bag of adhesives, see if I have any glue dots. Excuse me whilst I just quickly rummage through my bag. Okay, no glue dots currently. Let's see whether these will work. I'm just going to try something just to see whether these will work. I'm not sure whether these actually peel off, but we're going to give it a go. Okay, so I'm going to just apply some to the back. Hopefully they will work. If not, I'll have to disappear for 2 seconds and go and grab my other glue dots, which I know I have next door. Okay, so let's see if these peel off. Oh, they do, perfect, okay. Now I'm using, a lot of these things are Stampin' Up adhesives and things. The next thing I'm going to use actually isn't a Stampin' Up adhesive. I found that I couldn't get the depth I needed using Stampin' Up that I liked. It worked, but it wasn't perfect. It didn't, you know, it didn't move as well as I hoped it would. Okay, so we now have our spinny otter. So now we need to put everything together. So I'm going to now use my tape. So this is quite thick tape. For those of you that live in the UK, I got this from The Range. They're very, very good at basic card supplies. I'm just trying to make my, I should have really cleaned them. I have scissors just purely for cutting this type of tape, but I haven't cleaned them again for a while. And I didn't do that very well, did I? Let's just rip it. It's just probably easier sometimes just to rip it. Okay. As long as you've got a little bit of depth, you will be fine. So I'm just going to put that very near the top because we need to make sure we've got room for our penny to go around. This is why you should be doing it as much in the middle as possible. As I say, not managed that so far. That gives us a lot more space here at the bottom. So I'm only using the this tape for this part only because it is thicker and it does exactly what I want it to do. Make sure that you're not going off. Okay, it is exceptionally sticky. I don't know about anybody else as well, anybody with long hair, whether they tend to get their hair sticking to various pieces of their card. Right, okay, so we have our card with the upside down sentiment at the back. Not going to worry about that. And we are going to place it on here. So again, the only issue that we have with this bit is that obviously we have got to try and line it up as good as possible. Right, okay, happy with that. And I'm just going to trim, not with those scissors, with my paper snips. So I'm just going to trim as much as I can this edge here. Happy. Oh, I'm a happy bunny. Yeah, except I don't want that bit in the way. Right, okay. The next bit is that we need to stick this bit in the middle. So to do this, we just need, I'm going to use my mini dimensionals because we don't need many, we just need to have, I'm actually going to corner off my dimensionals. I'm just going to stick that there, making sure I've got a bit of a gap around, and I'm just going to add a couple of these, just ensuring that it sticks. Okay. And now we're going to place this in the middle. But before I do that, what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and attach, if you notice, I put my otter on, and I'm now going to try and feed this in and then adjust it so it looks okay to me. And then we have our otter, who is not spinning around as well as he could do. I don't know why, but he moves, and that's the, you know, that's one of the best bits. It may be that I need to adjust a little bit, but yeah, no, he does. He's moving around quite nicely now. Okay, so we have our spinning otter. Next bit is just to finish off the decorating. Thanks for sticking with me so far. I know my videos can be quite long. Okay, so I'm going to stick my Happy Father's Day in this corner. Just realised I did use the smaller circle the last time, but I'm going to stick with this one now I've got it. Okay, so I'll just put a little bit of glue in the middle. Okay, I'm going to have it just so it will fit in the envelope still very, very well, and ensure that our otter will go around it. That you've got to make sure when you're adding any embellishments that your otter will still go around it. Okay, now I love these wonderful fish. These fish, as you can see if I show you here, you cut out these fish with dies from the Otterly Amazing set. Just make sure, and I'm just going to bring them all onto here. Now you get lots of little ones as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my pokey tool, but first of all I'm just going to add little dots of glue where I want my fish. Again, great thing about this particular glue, just ensure that it's, just a little bit of thing just to ensure that it's running. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so I'm just gonna dab. It's probably a bit big. Dab. And I need some on here. Okay, it's probably a little bit too much there, but we'll see. Right, and I'm going to take my pick tool and I'm going to ensure that my fish is round the right way, and I'm going to add him to my card. Pick up a little one, a smaller one. This take your pick tool is absolutely amazing. It's got a little bit of putty on it, which lets you pick up even the tiniest of objects, but I've now got that stuck to my finger. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to pick up this even smaller one, put that one there. Let's have a, do I want a really tiny one up here? And another really tiny one just over here. I quite like that. Okay, sorry, I'm now just playing. I'm adding all my bits to it. And I'm going to put that one there. Not space these as well as I did on the other one, but not to worry. Put a big one there. And I think we need, I'm just going to just dab off a little bit of that glue as I don't want it. Okay. Right behind the big one. Okay, so we have now got our fish as well. Our school of fish. Okay. Right, last few bits. Now we're just going to add, I've got some nice gems. Again, these are Riverside Irregular Pearls. They came with, you bought the full set that you can get the bundle with everything in it. I'm also going to find my stamp set again because I'm hopeful that I put my bubbles back. And I didn't put my bubbles back. Oh, I liked my bubbles. Never mind. We won't put the bubbles on now. I'll do the bubbles at another time. Okay, so I'm going to just use a few of these little pearls. So I'm just going to take my tape pick tool and I'm just going to dot some around. Little smaller one. These stick really well. And a little smaller blue one. Okay. Where should we put you? No, in fact, I'm going to... sorry, I'm not happy with where that one was. I'm going to shove him up here. Okay. And do we need one more? Oh, I don't know. Right, okay. So, do we prefer this one with these colours or that one? I think actually if I did this again, I think I might cut out a blue to go in the middle of that one. I think I do actually prefer it with the white, but let me know whether you prefer it with the white to see. And I do apologise again for all my sniffing. Yeah, let me know in the comments, see what you think. All right, thanks very much for watching. Yeah, if you like this video, please subscribe. It does help. And as I say, if you wanted to buy any Stampin' Up equipment, anything from myself, I'm Helen Armstrong. You'll also find me at pandrapops.com, and you'll find me on Facebook at Pandra Pops Crafting Joyful Moments as well. There's lots of different ways you can contact me. But yeah, thanks again. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Sun is shining here, so hopefully we're going to have a fantastic day weather-wise. All right, take care. Thanks again for watching. Bye.